Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to do something a little different. One of my subscribers, and I call her a friend, has shared some beads that she made with me. I don't have them all out, unfortunately. I'm kind of working one at a time, but I wanted to show you some beads that she sent me. They are so cool, and these were the ones that stood out the most to me. Were these carved bones, basically. These are mine. I've been trying to figure out how to put these together all week, so I've got all my little tools in here. But let's get up close and I'll show you what they look like. Aren't those like so cool? So basically they're kind of white with, I don't know if it's a gold or a brown mica powder or paint in the middle to give it that authentic and vintage look. So I have been playing with it all week, and I didn't know exactly how to put it together, but I have an idea, but it's a little different than the idea that I had before. So I'm praying that this works, because I don't know for sure. So I have this leather here, and every time I try this, I end up kind of not using enough. So there's 26. You know what, let me do it this way. So we're just going to cut out a huge piece. So 20 would be as long as I would want to make it. So I'm just sitting here measuring out some of this, if you're wondering what I'm doing outside of the camera. Okay, so I've got 40 inches of leather right here. So I'm going to cut two pieces. And I'm probably using a lot more than I need, but I would rather go too long than too short. Oh yeah, that should be enough. I'm hoping. If not, we'll have to take it apart and start all over, and hopefully this is going to be good enough. Okay, so we have some leather here, and that's basically all we're going to use for this necklace. I'm not going to use any spacers. I'm not going to use anything. So I'm going to try and get these kind of paired up, because I want two that kind of match each other. I have some big beads here. I might have to make the holes just a little bigger. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this one. And I may not have enough of those, so it's going to be interesting how I do this. Okay, so I want to put these up here. So I have 5 of those, so unfortunately I'm only going to be able to use 4. And then I have 2 more here. These were samples that I made because I kind of wanted to go in this direction. And I think these are what I'm going to use for the bottom. Yeah, I was practicing with string. I was practicing with knotting cord. I kind of practiced with all kinds of these just to see which one would work the best. Alrighty. So I got 2, 4, 5. I got 7 over there. 8. I really wish I had one more of those, but I might have to split up the big ones and the small ones here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to put some leather through that. Okay, and then I'm going to make a barrel knot. I don't know if any of you are familiar with barrel knots. An overhand knot would work just as fine. I'm just trying to see how I can do this. I think on the bottom I'm just going to do a regular knot. I'm not really good at barrel knots. I don't use it very often, but okay, I just basically want one of these to hang down on that. Okay, and we're going to do the same on this one. Okay. Now on barrel nuts, I just need one piece of cord, and I'm doing this with two. So I want one of these to kind of sit down like that, just to be a little longer than the other one. So we're going to put the barrel knot just about right here. And the way we do that, I might have to turn it around this way. And I'm a lefty, so everything's kind of backwards with me. Is I'm just going to take one of these, like 2 beads. This just helps me hold it. And normally I would do 3 wraps. But because I'm using double, I'm only going to do 2. And this isn't the easiest knot to make, or at least it isn't for me. So I don't know if this is going to work. Again, I may have to do just a regular knot. But I'm going to slip that right through. And the other end is here somewhere. And I'm going to slip that through too. Okay. And we're going to kind of hold these a little tighter. Yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes to figure this out. Okay, I'm going to pull the tube out. This may not work. Nope, it's not. It just makes everything kind of harder to hold. I'm going to do just right here. I'm going to do another regular knot. I'm going really easy with this leather because if I have to take it apart, I will do so. I was going to make this separate from the necklace, which is why I'm having issues, is it wouldn't have been this long, for one. Okay, so I want this just a little lower like that. And I don't want too much space in between these two. So about right. Bring this down just a little bit. And if I don't like it, I can come in here and take a little bit off the bottom. Okay. So now we have this. And we're going to come back okay, we're going to come back like that. Yeah, see, I don't want that much leather. So we will definitely come back and cut this just a little bit. You got to be careful with leather that you don't use your fingernails because it will mar it all up. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Okay. this big one here. These just gave me a really nice ethnic vibe. And I couldn't figure out what kind of metals to put with them. So I was gonna try and do this without any kind of metals at all. Okay, one more knot. Then I can use the barrel knot and go with just one strand instead of both of them, because they're going to break off about right here. Okay, so that is the bottom of our necklace. And I'm thinking, I don't like all that space right there. I think it's just a little too long, but we'll leave it for now and we'll see what it's going to look like. Okay, and then of course it's got to hang straight. So sometimes if the knot is a little bit crooked, it's not going to hang right. Okay, so now we're going to move it here to the side. And before I do anything, I want to see how this lays. So we're going to do 2 at a time here. So thanks, Rebecca, for giving me a challenge. I've never made any jewelry out of anybody else's creations like this, so it's kind of fun to try. I just want to do it justice. Okay, so we're going to start with these because I don't have very many of those. I've got to somehow find one more. It might be here on my workbench when I was playing the other day, but I'm hoping I have one more. So I may pause in a minute and check and see if I do. Okay, so this is where we're going to do our barrel knot now. Okay, so we're going to make sure that this is pretty much tight right here. Okay, and then we're going to take this little thing right here. Okay, and I kind of put it up to the bead, and it gives me a chance to go closer. Okay, and you're going to hold the bottom of that thread or cord, whatever you're using. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to go 1, and then I'm going to go behind it and go 2, and go behind it again and go 3. That seems like it only gave me 2, so I'm going to go 1 more. Okay, keeping it tight, and hold on to it to keep it tight. Then you're going to take this bottom piece and you're going to put it through the tube. Okay, and then you're going to take the tube out. So basically it's just putting it in between all those beads. Okay, and then you're going to take the knot. This is the hardest part for me because with my fingers, yeah, see, I can never get them small. Okay, and you want to make them as tight as you can. And then you want them to lay right. So that is a barrel knot. I'll have to show you how to make them properly one day. I'm pretty sure I didn't do that quite right. Okay, I might have to enlarge in the holes real quick, so let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, we made the holes a little bigger. I still have not found one more of these. I don't know if I was given 6 or 5, so I may not have them. So I'm just going to put this together here, and we're just going to go back and forth. And hopefully I can keep this tight enough. When you don't have the fingers, barrel knots are so hard. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it as tight as I can like that. I think once I make about 10 of them, and it should be easier. It's just getting them off. It's just because the cord is just so long. Alright, so that's a better barrel knot right there. Okay, and I want a little bit of movement in them, so I don't want them really tight up against there. Okay. And let's see, I think let's do this side. It's really easy. Now if you can see, the barrel knot is kind of sitting against that one. So I don't know how that's going to look. I don't have a knotter or anything near me. I don't know what's up with my dog, but she's following me in every room that I go. I'm not quite sure what's up with her today. Just to go a little lower. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should have made one more overhand knot there. Try and flip this over the first one here. Okay, well, I'm not liking this little space in between here. Let's see what happens when I put this on. I find it very interesting that this barrel knot, even though it was using 2, is favoring one side. And it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but you guys know me. So we're just going to go with it, and if I don't like it at the end, you know me, I will take it apart and redo it. But we're going to try it the way it is. Okay, I'm going to put this back under here. Okay. I'm going to hold it as tight as we can. Kind of slide it over there so it's a little easier. And again, and we're basically going to do this all the way up. It's working backwards, especially because I'm a lefty, which is giving me the problems. Okay, slide it down like that. So there we have the 2. And now we're just going to go all the way up. So I'm going to pause it and work on it a little bit going up. And then before we finish it, I'll come back and we'll finish it together. But just to get the majority of them, I'm going to go see if I can find one more of these. Because if not, I may have to use a couple of the big ones. And I really don't want to use the big ones. So I'm going to see if I can find one more of those, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we've done a couple more, and I can't find a bead for that. So I did find those, but they don't quite match. And I don't like using the metal. And so I just went for a bigger bead here. And I'll put that right here in the center. Okay, and I'm getting better with my barrels. So basically you do a couple of them and it starts getting a little easier. It's just holding this bottom piece down, so maybe I can teach you a little better. So basically you're just setting it down, and the tube basically is just to help you get it through the other beads. So again, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Oh, see, when I get on camera I can't do it. So I'm going to shut up. Okay, and then you're just going to hold it, and I slide it over because it seems to make it easier to get it all attached. And you're going to hold it as hard as you can. Okay, and then you're just going to slide it. You don't want to tighten it because it needs to go all the way to the end here. Okay, and this is only showing 2 instead of 3. See guys, I did so good. And then I got on camera and it all fell apart. I hope I do justice to these beads. I had them out for like 3 days trying to figure out if I wanted to use chain and all kinds of different ways to string them up. And it just felt like this just needed to be on its own. So that should be my first one. That should be the second one. And that should be the third one. Okay, nice and tight. But see, I'm only showing 2. So we're going to do that extra one right there to make sure I have 3 showing. Alright, that one was a little easier. It's also a little bigger than all the other ones. So, guess what? I'm going to hit pause again, take this out. I'm going to make a couple more, and then I'll come back at the end, because I don't know what it is about being on camera. I just can't seem to get these easily. So, I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys. So, we finished. And I'll show you it in a second here. I am making these a little shorter, so it's not hanging too much. So barrel knots are really a pain in the butt. Once you get them down, it's good. But if you got issues with your fingers, which unfortunately I do, it's hard to grip the string that you're using and the little tubey thing. But the tubey thing makes it a lot easier, because you can keep them tight. And yeah, now I'm going to have problems with doing the knot, right? So we almost got this through. I'm just worried about digging my fingernails in it, which is why I'm going so slow here. Okay, so that's where I have the knot, is right here. And I've got this one hanging a little bit. I think this hanging right there is perfect. So I'm going to take the knot about right there. And I'm just going to see how it lays. So about right there would be good, I think. Or wherever it goes, as long as I got it like double the height where it was before, then I should be okay. So we're going to put it right there just to see. Okay, I'm going to go about that low. So that's good right there. So that's going just a little higher. And I didn't want to do another barrel knot, so I didn't. Okay, so all we have to do is basically close this. But that's how it hangs right now. Okay, and I didn't have enough of these, so I added some wood in there. Hopefully it goes with there. And then I think for finishing it, what I thought would have been really cool was that she gave me a bunch of these curved ones. And I could have stuck that in there stuck that in there like that, and then attached a bead on the end, and it would have been one of those slides, but I couldn't go back through it with a drill if I wanted to. So I had to take that out. Okay, and I've got a bunch of, I got a lot. Something that I don't use very often, but I do have some little cord ends. Not sure what size these are. I've got big ones, I've got small ones. That's way too big. That's even bigger. I like the glue ones a lot better because they just seem to hold much better, but it's really getting them, it's hard getting them as thin as I need them. Okay, I also have some of these. Way too big. Aha. That one's perfect right there. All right, so let me find one more of those. You can even, if you wanted to, just take this. It's not going to be this long. I'm just kind of showing you. You can take this and double it. And put it in like that, which I think is what I'm going to do, and then you'll just cut right there. So I'm going to do those. And I just need 2 of them. Make sure they're the right size. Yep, all 3 of them are the right size. All right, and then you're going to need some glue. So I'm going to figure out how long to make this. And you can put some jump rings on the end. And that way you have enough. So I'm going to say about right here. So I'm going to go 2 inches, I think. So 2 inches from the knot is right here. And then I'll add some chain if I need to go longer. Or not chain, just a couple extra jump rings up on top. Alright, so let me grab some glue here. I have some E6000. I'm going to move this over because E6000 has a habit of squishing out when you don't want it to. So I'm just going to lay some of this on my table here. I mean, seriously, you could even put resin in here. And resin the ends inside if you had to. Okay, so we'll just put some glue in there. And the smaller I make this, the smaller I have to cut off. Okay, I'll put that in there. And then unfortunately, I'm going to have to let it dry. Okay. Stick it on my fingers. Okay. So those we're going to let sit. You can take some crimp tubes if you want, or crimpers, or you can take a flat nose plier and you can crimp them down a little bit, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to let them dry, and then I'll come back and show you when we have the finished necklace. I'll see you in a bit.